Hi, I'm Sheila Walsh. Welcome to my home office here just north of Dallas. And today on BeliefNet, I get a chance to answer some of the questions that you have sent in about prayer. Great questions. Thank you so much for being so honest. So let's get to them. We have another question from DMR66. Long question. My question is, when you pray or have a quiet time, what all should be included in that time? Should you just pray, or should you also study the Bible and or do devotions? Is there any order that you should do them in? Well, I think that every single person has a different way of walking out their relationship with God. I think one of the problems I have with our Christian culture is that we think there is a formula, there is one right way. But I think that if you study the life of Christ, there were many different ways that Jesus spent time. Sometimes he prayed with his friends. Sometimes he sent his friends away because he wanted to be alone with his Father. And in my own life, I love to study the Word of God. This is my study, and it's surrounded by books. I spend a few hours in here every day after I've taken my son to school and before I pick him up, because I love to get hold of like the expositor's Bible commentary and take a verse and maybe kind of unpack it. Like, for example, one of my very favorite Psalms is the Psalm that says, I lift my eyes up to the hills. Where does my help come from? Does my help come from mountains? And then it goes on to say, no, my help comes from the Lord. But one of the verses in there that says, the sun will not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. I've known that for years and thought, I can't imagine, I've never heard of the moon striking anyone. But when I get hold of these study guides and commentaries, basically what the psalmist was saying was, troubles come in the morning and troubles come at midnight. And whenever trouble comes, the Lord is there to watch over you. Then I usually do include some sort of study. But in my prayer time, the reason I called my new book, Get Off Your Knees and Pray, was that I went through a couple of very difficult years recently. Maybe you've been through a time like this when it seems as if everything is going wrong, that not one more thing could go wrong. And I discovered that if I was trying to survive on 15-20 minutes of prayer in the morning and 15-20 minutes of prayer at night, I wasn't going to make it. So I discovered that I had to take prayer off my to-do list and move it onto my who I am list. And that really is what has changed my life. I get up in the morning and my first thought is to welcome my Father, to say, good morning, Father, and then I have an ongoing conversation with the Lord throughout the day. And then I also have specific times when I'll reach for my Bible or think on a couple of verses I've learned. But I don't think there's a right way of doing it. I think the Lord just loves when we learn about him and when we talk to him.